Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. My name is Marie. Today's video is all about the energies that exist within our sixth chakra, which is located right at the center of our forehead between our eyes. It's also known in other esoteric terms as the third eye. This is the area of our body that houses our pituitary gland, among other wonderful parts of our brain. This is the part of the energies that we're going into is all about our mind. Today is the day that I'm going to introduce to you that third oil that's in your toolkit. So let me just take a moment and explain that to you a little bit before we move into that space where we need to use it. The third bottle in your toolkit is called a Tunisian amber attar, and amber has a wonderful affinity for our third eye. It helps to open the third eye, to offer us clarity. It's a mental stimulant, and so it's not necessarily the best oil to apply to the body right before bedtime, because it does stimulate the mind. It initiates those different brain waves. It is a rich combination of oils. Like all attars, they're not single oils. So unlike the sandalwood and the rose oil that are in your toolkits, those are just single oils from one single plant. But the Tunisian amber attar is actually a blend of different plant resins, and it's done in the art of perfumery. So just like with the rose oil, when I tell you it's time to take out your amber to anoint your third eye area with the amber, remember again here that less is more. So you're going to take the bottle of your Tunisian amber attar. Your bottle is going to be a little bit smaller than mine here. And again, you're going to just kind of dip it over on your finger, but you really are going to wipe the majority of the oil off so that you're really just getting the finest little residue, and it's going to be that you're going to anoint the third eye with. And so thank you for taking the time with me to let me share that piece of information with you. That's just another one of those lovely things that I've learned on my path in regards to spiritual aromatherapy. And it's just a beautiful part of this whole practice and journey of healing for you. So today is all about our sixth chakra, our third eye, the power of our mind. The color that we're finding here is the color of indigo. And this is the energy center of your wisdom and your intuition, because this is where it flows through. Remember, your intuitive hits come from here and they flow through the body. So this is where it becomes activated in the physical form so that you're aware of it. Your intuitive hits. The musical note that we find here is the note of A, and the frequency that we're at now is 46.8 hertz. Again, it's located between your eyes, right at about the center of your forehead. And this is all about the power of the mind. It's about your intuition and what that looks like to you. Understanding that those intuitive hits that we get are a very soft, subtle energy. They're not alive and vibrant like the stories that our mind likes to tell. We can get very creative with our stories and our illusions. But our intuitive hits, that intuitive language that is inevitably opening up within you as you journey through your chakras, that intuitive language comes in at a very softer frequency. It's one of those frequencies that fly through your mind in a split second. Let me give you a couple examples. You're driving on a road at night and your headlights are on. All of a sudden, something tells you intuitively to hit the brakes, and you do so at just the right time before, somebody could have hit you coming from another direction. Those intuitive hits, they come out fast and strong. They are messages for you, and you have to learn what that language looks and feels like in your body. It is something I hope to do a future video on and go in depth a little bit more about with you. The sixth chakra chakra is the area of wisdom, because as we move into these higher energies, we want to be able to live in those frequencies where we're making wise choices. Maybe not the same choice that we were, when we were 5 years old, when we were just in our tribal energies. We could take the same circumstances we get older. We realize, we would do things a little differently. That is the power of wisdom. It's learning by your mistakes and challenges and your redirections in life. That's where wisdom comes from. It's cultivated, not necessarily always over time, but it is the desirable effect as we grow and mature in both our physical bodies and our spiritual journey. Ordination is also a meaning that exists within that sixth chakra, and that is, I don't want to use the word designed, but that is a part of the meaning in this chakra for those that have a great faith in their religion and their church. So ordination will come in for people that live within that belief system and that faith. Ordination will come in that way. So again, in these higher frequencies up in your mind. The motto or the sacred truth that's residing in the sixth chakra is to seek only the truth, because at the end of the day, it's all that matters. Truth and love. Truth and love. Those are the only two things that really matter. Speak the truth. Live by the truth. Find that strong honor and find that strong honor and integrity code within you that allows you to only speak the truth, where you get to that place in your life with yourself and with others that anything but the truth is completely unacceptable in your life, and start living more by that raising of the bar for yourself. So the fears or the shadow side of your sixth chakra are being afraid of the truth. Fears that if I speak the truth, somehow I will be reprimanded for that truth, because the reality is we've all been conditioned and programmed from birth in some way, either by society or other types of programming that we take in, that little white lies are okay, and that telling people what they want to hear is a better version than the cold hard truth. The reality is, it is the truth that ends up setting you free, and that freedom allows you to go through life happier, feeling more satisfied and fulfilled inside. The fear of sound realistic judgment, that also lives here within this energy field, being afraid to make those wise decisions. And again, remember all of these higher energies that we're in now from the heart chakra up. You can only learn to live and exist and work in these energies if you've got those foundational three strong. And remember that the third chakra is so incredibly important, because if you don't build that strength in the self, the rest of the spirit can't rise. So it's super important to remember that. The fear of discipline, that goes along with the truth, because at some level we've been led to believe at some point that if we speak the truth and it's not what someone wants to hear, that we're going to get reprimanded for it. And being afraid of your shadow side and its attributes. And you know what I mean by that. We all have portions of ourselves that can come out ugly at times. Those are the parts of yourself that you don't take on the first date. Those are the ones that you show when you're around people that you're comfortable with, like your tribe, your family, people that you're close with. And being afraid of your shadow side, again, it's kind of one of those things that we've been programmed and led to believe, but the reality is facing your shadows. So those fears and those parts of yourself that you don't like, they creep in through your weaknesses. It's the facing of those that allows the freedom to be so completely truthful with yourself and others, and that you live in this energy space where everything and anything is possible, because it truly is. But our fears hold us back. Our fears hold us back both realistically from the physical plane and both energetically and symbolically. And it is through the lens of the fears that we need to look at where we need to change, because we now understand what those things feel like in our biology. We now understand what a third chakra hit feels like, and a second chakra hit feels like, and a first. And if you need a refresher in what this feels like, then go back in the videos, find that extra video where I've gone into fuller detail on what those physical hits feel like in the body, and remind yourself. Learn to take that tool and work with that in your everyday life, because you'll start understanding easier and with more clarity when you're losing energy, when you'd like to stop that feeling from happening in your biology, and how you can make different choices so you don't end up in that position again. The strengths, and there's a lot of them here in your mind, because your mind is an absolute wonderful part of your body, but it is the one part of your entire chakra system that needs the most integration, because it's the one that likes to tell stories, fabricate things, make the fishing story from this big to this big. It's that part of our body that does that, is our mind. But it's where our intellect lives, is up here in our mind. When we achieve that lovely place where you can get to, that's known as detachment. And again, if you need a little refresher on that, go back to that short video that I have on detachment. Because detachment doesn't mean that you don't care about your life. It means you get impersonal with your life. You know how you can look at a friend's or a family member's situation, and because it's not your situation, you can see things clearly, but you don't want to be the messenger, right? You don't want to be the one that's delivering that news that day, because inevitably, if it's not the message that someone wants to hear, they're going to draw out their weaponry and shoot the messenger. So detachment doesn't mean that you don't care about your life. It means that you're going to look at it from a higher place. So let me give you an example. This just happened to me recently. I was out in my garden and a situation happened which caused me to spew something verbally from my mouth that wasn't necessarily nice words. And my automatic reaction to myself was, my mother could swear like a sailor when the conditions arose. And so I automatically defaulted to that. I went to that place in my mind, oh, well, my mother did it, so therefore I do it. So therefore I don't have to take any responsibility for making the choice of dropping a few not nice words. And the reality is, it's your choice what you do every single day, what comes out of your mouth, what you put in your body, what you put in your mind. That's a good way to look at yourself. And so what I did was, as I'm saying this to myself, oh, well, my mother did it, so therefore, it's her fault, and this is the way it is. And then my higher self kicked in and went, oh, well, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice that you can play that game with yourself? Like, come on, you know better than this. You know you can make your own choices. Stop doing that. And it was just one of those moments of clarity where I went, yep, I got it. It's something that I can teach everyone else. And yet, those foundational things, it teaches us a lot of things, that those foundational energies that we come in with from our tribe, they stick like glue. And we end up having to make choices better than that as we grow in wisdom and our spirituality and in our own nature. Inspiration lives in this energy center, because this is where it comes down through from the divine. Whew, wow, I just had a great idea. Your emotional intelligence, this is where you really start making choices about what I say. I think about this before I'm speaking them. Because in these lower energies, you don't do that. Situation happens, you react, automatic. You're not thinking before you speak. Now you are starting to think more before you speak. You're careful of the choices of the words that you make, because you now are understanding the power of those words. Integrating your creativity and your intuition, this is where that soup pot happens. The creative flow going between the sixth and the second chakra. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, I could do it this way. I could do it that way. And the creativity starts to happen, and you start to feel all those good energies because it makes you excited inside. Because you are excited inside energetically. Your energy is alive and it's ready to flow. And detachment. I can't say enough about detachment, especially in this chakra, because this is where you learn the detachment, because you start to make choices. You start to really think before you speak. Physically, this part of the body is all about the area of the brain and your nervous system, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your pituitary and pineal glands. So again, remember, for every physical ailment in your body, there is an energetic reason why it's happening. So again, use this as a tool in your toolbox to discover what's going on. You know, am I suffering with headaches all the time? Am I this? Am I that? Look at yourself through this system of perception now to allow yourself to find those answers for yourself. The law that exists with this sixth chakra, that mystical law or law of science, whatever you want to voice it as, is all about thought before form. When you think before you speak, you might want to say this down here at the bottom level, but you take yourself up a notch and you go, you know what? That person's not ready for that message that day, or whatever the case may be. You put more thought into it because you now are understanding the power of words. Remember at the end of the day to look at the choices that you make, why you make those choices, why are you making those choices, what is it based on? Is it based on real information, or is it based on hearsay? Or are you basing choices on what everybody else will think? Or are you basing your choices on your money? Or are you strong enough within yourself to make a choice, and no matter which way it flies, you know you're going to be okay? Understand that those power of choices, they either enhance or drain your energy. And remember, at the end of the day, this type of work, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to look in the mirror and realize that you have healing to do. And then it takes even more courage to step through those fears, look into the world behind your eyes, and discover where you're losing energy. At this time, either pause your video to set up your space for imbibing, if that's what you'd like to bring into this practice, and at the very least, have a look at your space and see that you have your blanket, your pillow, your cup of tea, your rolled up blanket placed exactly where it needs to be, so that when you come back and lie down on your mat, it's positioned right up underneath your shoulder blades. Make sure that you have your collection of oils with you. Make sure that you've either taken off a little ball of cotton or maybe already imbued it with your sandalwood oil. Have that ready. Make sure your clear quartz crystal that I sent with you in your little toolkit, make sure that you've placed that in the area where your crown chakra is going to be. And take a few moments, pause the video, make your space your own. And if it's part of your practice, take this moment and bring that sacred feminine cannabis into your practice. Allow it to do its magic by opening up your heart chakra, and maybe take into that space today when you set your intention to learn a little bit more about the value of detachment on your journey today. And so now find that space of comfort on your mat, making sure that you have everything that you need, that you've taken that clear quartz crystal, that you've placed that at your crown chakra, that your rolled up blanket is perfectly positioned underneath your shoulder blades, and that you have your blanket ready for that deeper comfort if your body gets chilled. And then just allow yourselves to settle here on the mat, offering the body any final words for comfort that it needs: a pillow, the blanket, reposition a bolster, and then settle into that space, finding that comfortable position for your hands, either placed one on your abdomen and one in your heart, or maybe if you'd like to increase this upper body fourth chakra stretch by offering your arms out to either side of you, palms facing up for receiving, or if you're feeling the need, maybe palms facing down for grounding. And then just allow yourself to settle here for a moment. And now moving into those 3 familiar cleansing breaths, drawing the breath in through the nose and exhaling tensions deeply out through the mouth. And we begin. Inhaling in through the nose, drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding the lungs, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. Again, inhaling in through the nose, drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding your lungs, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And one last time, inhaling in through the nose, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And then allowing your breath to return to its normal circular fashion, in and out through the nose. And now bring that awareness to the top of your head. And now bringing that awareness to the top of your head and moving down the front side of your body using that same gathering and releasing technique with your breath. Starting at the top of your head and allowing that awareness to move through the hairs on your scalp, until your hairline meets your forehead, and allow that awareness to gather there for a moment. Then bringing that awareness through the folds of your skin on your forehead, into the area of your eyebrows, into the sockets of your eyes, your cheeks, into the large muscles of your jaw, Can you allow your jaw to lightly unhinge as your mouth slightly opens? And then allow that awareness to travel down either side of your neck, into the contours of your shoulders and your upper arms, into your elbows and your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers. Allow that awareness to gather in the center of your chest now, into the area of your breasts and your rib cage, into your lungs and your stomach, and into the bowls of your hips, your thighs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. Remind yourself that the breath is deep and full, yet gentle and smooth, nourishing and healing. And on your next inhalation, bending your knees so that your feet are flat on the floor. And then in whichever position is most comfortable for you, moving that rolled up blanket from underneath your upper back and positioning it so that it is underneath your buttocks, so that when you stretch back out over your mat, you feel a gentle rising of your hips towards the ceiling, offering a gentle stretch in your lower back, the area of your second chakra. And then allow yourself to gather here for a moment, honoring any final requests that the body has for any deeper comfort. And then moving into those 3 cleansing breaths as we draw the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, releasing tension from the body. And we begin inhaling in through the nose and exhaling deeply through the mouth. Again, inhaling in through the nose, drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding fully your lungs, and exhaling deeply through the mouth. And again, inhaling in through the nose, gathering any final tensions that you find in the body and exhaling them deeply through the mouth. And then allow your breath to return to its normal rhythm. In and out through your nose. And for our final exercise of releasing tension from the physical form, bringing that awareness to the top of your head, and with that awareness, tensing every muscle in your body from the very top of your head to the very tips of your toes. As we inhale, we'll tighten, and as we exhale, we'll release. And we begin. Inhaling in through the nose, tensing every muscle from the very top of your head to the very tips of your toes, and exhale and release. And one final time, inhaling in through the nose, tensing every muscle from the very top of your head to the very tips of your toes, and hold, and then exhale and release. And notice how good it feels when you let it go. And now, bending your knees so that your feet are flat in the floor, and removing that rolled up blanket from underneath your lower back, and finding that position where you'd like to take the rest of our time together. Remembering to place that quartz crystal at your crown chakra, and to have ready your Indian gulab, your scent of the rose, and your Tunisian amber attar. Taking your small cotton ball, tucking that into the ridge of your right ear, and then bringing your fingers up underneath your nose to take in that beautiful scent of the Mysore sandalwood, knowing that the scent of the sandalwood is calming to all of the appetites of the body, that it has the ability to settle the mind, making it absolutely perfect for this type of work. Taking in those 3 breaths in through the nose, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. Again, inhaling in through the nose, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. One final time, inhaling in through the nose, dropping your hand down beside you, and exhaling deeply through the mouth. Gathering that scent of the rose if you haven't already done so. Anointing the back of your left hand. Remembering that the scent of the rose has a beautiful affinity to our heart chakra, that it is the highest resonating oil that we have, and that it has a beautiful affinity for helping to heal the wounds of the heart, for calming and cooling those heated emotions like anger and frustration, and to simply help cool us on a hot summer's day. Bringing your hand up underneath your nose and taking in those same 3 deep breaths in through the nose, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And again, inhaling in through the nose. And then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And one final time, inhaling in through the nose, dropping your hand down beside you, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And now gathering that small vial of Tunisian amber, taking a little bit of that essence on the pointer finger of your opposite hand that you used for the rose, and then anointing the area of your third eye. Simply rub a little bit on that place on your forehead. And then once again, bring that finger up underneath your nose. And let's do 2 breaths here. Taking that smell in through the nose. And then exhaling deeply through the mouth. And again, inhaling in through the nose, dropping that hand down beside you, and then exhaling deeply through the mouth. Offering the body one final motion to give it any extra comfort before we move into our reading today from Carolyn Mace, Anatomy of the Spirit. The sixth chakra, the power of the mind. The sixth chakra involves our mental and reasoning abilities and our psychological skill at evaluating our beliefs and attitudes. The mind chakra resonates to the energies of our psyches, our conscious and unconscious psychological forces. Within Eastern spiritual literature, the sixth chakra is known as the third eye, the spiritual center in which the interaction of mind and psyche can lead to intuitive sight and wisdom. This is the chakra of wisdom. The challenges of the sixth chakra are opening the mind, developing an impersonal mind, retrieving one's power from artificial and false truths, learning to act on internal direction, and discriminating between thoughts motivated by strength and those by fear and illusion. Its location is in the center of your forehead, and its energy connection to the physical body, the brain and neurological system, pituitary and pineal glands, as well as the eyes, ears, and nose. The energy connection to the emotional mental body. The sixth chakra links us to our mental body, our intelligence, and our psychological characteristics. Our psychological characteristics are a combination of what we know and what we believe to be true, a unique combination of the facts, fears, personal experiences, and memories that are active continually within our mental energy body. The sixth chakra activates the lessons that lead us to wisdom. We achieve wisdom both through life experiences and by acquiring the discriminating perceptual ability of detachment. Symbolic sight is partly learned detachment, a state of mind beyond the influences of the personal mind or beginner's mind that can lead to the power and insight of the impersonal or open mind. The primary fears that are alive within our sixth chakra are an unwillingness to look within and excavate one's fears, fear of truth when one's reason is clouded, fear of sound, realistic judgment, fear of relying on external counsel, of discipline, fear of one's shadow side and its attributes. The primary strengths that reside within your sixth chakra are your intellectual abilities and skills, evaluation of conscious and unconscious insights, receiving inspiration, generating great acts of creativity and intuitive reasoning, emotional intelligence. The sacred truth of the sixth chakra is to seek only the truth. It compels us to search continually for the difference between truth and illusion, the two forces present at every moment. Separating truth from illusion is more a task of the mind than it is of the brain. The brain commands the behavior of our physical body, but the mind commands the behavior of our energy body, which is our relationship to thought and perception. The brain is the physical instrument through which thought is transferred into action, but perception and all that is associated with perception, such as becoming conscious, is a characteristic of the mind. In becoming conscious, one is able to detach from subjective perceptions and see the truth or symbolic meaning in a situation. Detachment does not mean ceasing to care. It means stilling one's fear-driven voices. One who has attained an inner posture of detachment has a sense of self so complete that external influences have no authority within his or her consciousness. Such clarity of mind and self is the essence of wisdom, one of the divine powers of the sixth chakra. Allow yourself to know that you are fully supported by the mat beneath you. Allow yourself to know that you are completely safe within this space. And allow yourself to know how deeply you are loved. Now take your awareness outside of the room you are in, outside of the walls. What kind of information can you perceive? A sound off in the distance. And on your next inhalation, bringing your awareness into this room, into these four walls, into the sound of the music, the sound of my voice, the smells in the air. Breathing and allowing. All is well. And now let me introduce to you the practice of working with your chakras with the intention of feeding your spirit. Focus your attention now on the part of your body that houses your sixth chakra, the center of your forehead, the color indigo. This is the part of your body that houses the power of your mind. The key word for the sixth chakra is wisdom. The motto for this energy center is to seek only the truth. The sixth chakra is the contact point between the divine mind and human thought. The portal to enlightenment and transcendent consciousness, which is the goal of all spiritual pursuits. And bring that focus back to your breath. Drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding the lungs, knowing that that breath is both nourishing and healing to every cell within your body. You are now residing in your mind. You like your mind. Your mind is a powerful instrument. It feels good. Your mind works. It generates ideas. It generates creativity. It generates perceptions. Roll around in your mind. Fall in love with your mind today and feel its power. Now let your mind talk to you. What did it think of today? And what did it think about today? Does your mind prepare to enter your day feeling good? Or does it generate illusions and stories? Imagine that your mind is sitting opposite you now, and ask your mind, show me what illusions we are working on today. What illusions we are going to work through today. And imagine that your mind says, we are going to work through the illusion that the external world has more power over you than your internal world. Because this is a strong illusion. This is a story that you tell yourself every day. And today, we are going to work on that. And bring that focus back into your breath. Drawing that breath deep into the belly. Expanding your lungs. Allowing that breath to be nourishing and healing to every cell within your body. Now take a moment to identify with your illusions. Put a name to them. Put words to your illusions. The stories that you tell yourself. Focus your attention now on your beliefs and your attitudes, on your memories. How much time do you spend focusing your attention on your history, on your past, of who did what to you back when that event happened back in your history that hurt you, embarrassed you, shamed you, made you put up those barriers and those walls? How much of your attention is put into your negative attitudes, into your pessimism? Think about this and ask yourself, Do I want to stay in this thought pattern? Do I want to continue to give energy to my history? And if not, ask your mind to generate better thoughts, better truths, truths that you know that are true, and ask them to reside in your mind instead. Know that absolutely everything in your life is there for a reason. Life moves in cycles and power will be returned. Just when you feel the worst, the best things happen. Let go. Give your will to the divine energies, because you know that deep inside your mind, you know that the universe is watching over you. You already know that. And remind yourself most of all that everyone that you meet has the same fears that you do. You do not stand in this alone. So as you open each new day, know with absolute delight in your heart that everyone in the world is just like you. Everyone. And as we prepare to leave our sixth chakra, remind yourself that the purpose of every day of our lives is to seek only the truth. The central theme of our sixth chakra. Seek only the truth. Everything in our lives, every relationship, every experience, absolutely everything is fundamentally designed to teach us truth. Seek only truth. And bringing that focus back into your breath. Drawing that breath deep into the belly, expanding the lungs. Knowing that that breath is nourishing and healing every cell within your body. And finally, release our final prayer. That I have only the now. That my attention will not go backwards into my history, nor forward into my future. That I am committed to present time. To remain grounded in my world. To feeling a bond with each person that I meet. To respecting my own integrity and my own honor. To living within the energy of love and compassion this day, and learning to return to that energy when I don't feel it. To making wise and blessed choices with my will. To release the need to know why things happen as they do. And to not project expectations over how I want this day to be, or how I want others to be. And finally, my last prayer, to trust in the universe and to bless my day with gratitude and with love. Allow yourself to know that you are fully supported by the mat beneath you. Allow yourself to know that you are completely safe within this space. and allow yourself to know how deeply you are loved. Breathing and allowing. All is well. And now imagine that you are lying upon the earth. The cool, moist earth of the evening. That you can feel the heat of the final rays of the sun cast upon your body. That you can feel that gentle caress across your skin of the wind. And that as you lie there in stillness and complete relaxation, that you can hear the whispering of the trees as the breeze passes through the leaves. And your body is so completely relaxed, so completely at ease, that you can imagine yourself beginning to rise off of the earth, hovering above the blades of grass. And that as you inhale deeply into your lungs, your body rises even higher, above the flowers and the shrubs. And with each deep, relaxing breath, you rise even higher into the trees and beyond, moving towards the clouds and feeling the moistness and the coolness of the clouds as your body passes through them. Breathing deeply, we rise even higher into the darkness of the night, until we can see ourselves clearly in our mind's eye as one of those beautiful sparkling lights in the nighttime sky. The energy that is you. And welcoming you back from your journey, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Maybe reaching your arms above your head and giving your body a gentle stretch, side to side. And then maybe taking in these final moments of delicious relaxation, curled up on one side or the other, tucked still underneath your blanket, with your eyes softly closed, for our final words from Carolyn. Our sixth chakra is our mental chakra. Do not play mind games with others or yourself. Live the truth. If you live in denial about things or if you harbor secrets, creating a happy life will not be easy. Happiness thrives on open, clean air. You can't be happy if you're always wondering if a secret has slipped out the back door. Keep your mind in the higher altitudes. Stay out of the trash, gossip, rumor spreading, etc. Don't dwell in fear. And if fears are controlling you, then do something about that. Everyone experiences fears. Big deal. Don't let the fears control your life. They seep into your mind, and then into your heart, and then into your bloodstream. Imagine for just a moment that you have absolutely no fear of being who you are. How does that make you feel? Like pure bliss, right? Let it go. And as you are ready, knowing there's absolutely no hurry, to return to that seated position, bringing your body back to this time and space on the mat, reaching for that cup of tea, offering the body that physical movement to bring awareness back to the physical form. And if it is part of your practice, drawing your hands to heart center, with your eyes soft. I remind you today about planting your row of peas, remembering those peas of power and perspective and practice, and reminding yourself that they're there in your toolbox to use. Thank you for joining me today in learning about the energies of our sixth chakra in the world behind your eyes, where you discover that deeper meaning of you. Namaste.